Pompey the Great is launching a massive concentrated attack on a small fort held by Caesar's men. At the lead of the Romans defending the fort, a Centurion, Marcus Cassius Scaeva. When Pompey swayed the wall, the defenders were overwhelmed. Caesar's starving men began to panic and retreat from the ramparts. Scaeva didn't retreat. If the gate fell, Caesar's entire army would have been flanked and slaughtered. His duty was absolute. He planted his feet in the choke point of the gate, raised his massive wooden shield and screamed at his retreating men.
"Turn around and witness how a Roman dies."
The enemy poured into the breach, and Scaeva met them single-handedly. The terrifying crush of bodies, the deafening sound of iron on iron, and the smell of blood. Scaeva fought like a machine. He hacked, stabbed, and bashed with his shield, piling the bodies of Pompey's men at his feet to create a physical barricade of corpses. But a single man cannot hold back an army forever. The sheer volume of incoming fire was impossible to deflect. First, a spear was driven clean through Scaeva's thigh. He snapped the shaft off and kept fighting. Then, a sword slashed his shoulder, cutting deep into the muscle. He ignored it. Then came the defining moment of absolute horror. A heavy javelin was thrown from the enemy ranks. It struck Scaeva with full force, driving straight into his face and completely destroying his left eye. The pain would have instantly incapacitated a normal human being. Most men would have dropped their weapons and died screaming. Scaeva's reaction was terrifying. He didn't fall. He reached up, grabbed the heavy wooden shaft of the javelin embedded in his skull, and violently ripped it out of his own face, tearing the ruined eye out with it. He crushed the eyeball under his sandal, roared with a blood-soaked mouth, and charged straight into the enemy line. Pompey's men were paralyzed. They were no longer fighting a soldier, they were fighting a demon. Exhausted, bleeding from a dozen wounds, and half blind, Scaeva realized he was reaching the absolute physical limit of his body. He needed to buy a few more seconds for reinforcements to arrive, so he used his enemy's humanity against them. He dropped his sword, fell to his knees, and held up his hands, crying out to Pompey's centurions that he was finally surrendering. Two of Pompey's officers, eager to claim the glory of capturing Caesar's greatest fighter, ordered their men to hold, lowered their shields, and stepped forward to take him prisoner. The moment they were within striking distance, Scaeva's stoicism snapped back into lethal action. He drew a hidden dagger, lunged upward with explosive speed, and drove the blade through the throat of the first officer. As the man fell, Scaeva picked up his sword from the dirt and severed the arm of the second officer. The shock of this brutal dissection broke the enemy's assault just long enough. At that exact moment, Caesar's reinforcements finally arrived, crashing into Pompey's demoralized ranks and pushing them out of the fort. The line held. When the battle was over, Caesar came to the fort to inspect the damage. He found Scaeva unconscious, bleeding out, surrounded by a mountain of the dead. When they inspected his equipment, they found his armor pierced in countless places. But the true testament of his endurance was his wooden shield. When they counted the holes, they found that it had taken 120 direct hits from arrows, spears, and swords. Against all medical logic, Scaeva survived his wounds. Caesar, recognizing that this one man had saved his entire army, promoted him on the spot to Primus Pilus, the highest-ranking centurion in a Roman legion, and awarded him a fortune in silver. Cassius Scaeva didn't fight for politics, and he didn't fight for philosophy. He survived because he understood the core tenet of existence. Your body is just a vessel, but your will is an unstoppable force. Scaeva stands as a brutal, blood-soaked monument to human endurance, proving that your perceived limits are just a lie.